Right, good morning. So today we will discuss about differential amplifier and its classification and the study of differential amplifier. We will analyze the operation of differential amplifier with the help of the operational amplifier, which we discussed in yesterday's class. So yesterday, some of the people had a query regarding the operational amplifier study. So in this operational amplifier falls under the classification of linear integrated circuit. So in previous classes, we studied about integrated circuit. Integrated circuit is nothing but a miniature electronic circuit where on a solid silicon wafer we integrate a numerous number of we can integrate a numerous number of transistors, diodes, and all other electronic components. So here we discussed about the difference between an normal integrated circuit and a traditional circuit. So what is the difference between integrated circuit and normal circuit? We observed in yesterday's class. Whereas the integrated circuit is nothing but it is constructed in a solid silicon wafer, but the normal circuit is constructed abruptly in a discrete manner. So why we are going for this integrated circuit means the size, the compactness of the integrated circuit is very less, and we can add many number of components, innumerous number of components like active components and passive components together in a circuit. That means we can construct how many number of innumerous number of active elements and passive elements to this particular integrated circuit. So before going into the differential amplifier, some of the people want to know in detail about operational amplifier. We will just again revise, and we will study about operational amplifier, and we will conclude the operational amplifier, and next we will go to the differential amplifier. Yesterday we just explained that operational amplifier with respect to the application of differential amplifier, and we analyzed a nodal analysis, and we derived the output voltage V naught in yesterday's class. So by using that output voltage V naught, so we will define a common mode voltage signal V suffix Cm, and next we will define common mode voltage gain, and we will define differential voltage V suffix D, and we will define differential voltage gain, okay. So let us go about the operational amplifier once again, and we will conclude this today. So this is about operational amplifier. So this is the operational amplifier, general schematic of the operational amplifier. If we see on screen, so this is the negative input terminal. So this is the so this delta, observe this delta here on the screen. This delta is our operational amplifier integral circuit. We are calling that as an integral circuit. This delta, see that on the screen. I am moving with a pointer, and this is the integral circuit of the operational amplifier. So here we have two input terminals. One is negative input terminal, and another one is a positive input terminal. A negative input terminal, we call that negative input terminal as inverting input terminal, and positive as non-inverting input terminal. Then this positive one is non-inverting input terminal. So and here we have a feedback resistance. So here we have the feedback resistance. This is the feedback resistance R suffix F, and this is the input resistance R1. So this is the input voltage medium. This is the input voltage section, and here we can see the output voltage here. So this is about plus VCC and minus VCC. We will discuss about in detail plus VCC and minus VCC. So these are about the terminals, schematic terminals of op amp. There are two input terminals and one output terminal. It is very clear here. We can see two input terminals and one output terminal. The negative and positive input signals are referred to inverting and non-inverting respectively. Negative one is inverting, negative one is inverting, and positive one is non-inverting amplifier. Non-inverting input signal. So if we see this operational amplifier in an ideal condition, that means if the operational amplifier is said to be ideal, the operational amplifier is said to be ideal. So what we can see means operational amplifier is said to be ideal. What we can see means the output voltage gain is it should be infinite. So we can see the ideal characteristics of operational amplifier. If the operational amplifier is ideal, as we know, what are the ideal characteristics of a transformer? That means if the operational amplifier will behave like an ideal thing, so operational amplifier voltage gain, open loop voltage gain should be infinite, and input resistance should be infinite, and output impedance must be zero, and bandwidth should be infinite. So these are the important parameters. Here we can see operation, if the operational amplifier is ideal, means voltage gain should be infinite, input resistance R suffix I, this input resistance has to be infinite, and output resistance, this here in the output terminals, output resistance must be zero, and total bandwidth should be infinite. Bandwidth should be infinite. So if we go on to the actual operation of this operational amplifier, if we observe in a simplest way, simplest way, so V1 is nothing but the negative, V1 is nothing but, here you can see V1 and V2 are two nothing but the inverting and non-inverting terminals, where the gain is infinite, voltage gain is infinite, and the output voltage is nothing but an output voltage is having is nothing but a positive saturation. So what is the purpose of feedback means? Here we can see a negative feedback, right? So here observe the negative feedback. Negative feedback. The utility of the operational amplifier can be greatly increased by providing the negative feedback. The utility has to be increased. That's why we are providing the negative feedback. Negative feedback. The utility of the operational amplifier is increased. That's where we are providing the negative feedback. So the output is very output has to be saturated, so that the circuit has to behave in a linear manner. So this is a linear integrated circuit. Operational amplifier is a linear integrated circuit where the behavior in between voltage and current is linear. V is proportional to I. That's why it is a linear integrated circuit, and operational amplifier falls under the category of linear integrated circuit. So we all know that from the ideal characteristic of operational amplifier, the gain is infinite. The output voltage V0 should be either at positive saturation voltage or at negative saturation voltage. That means if V1 is greater than V2 or V2 is greater than respectively, we can observe a positive saturation output voltage or a negative saturation output voltage. That means the output assumes to be one of the possible output states as plus Vsat or minus Vsat. So this is the particular limitation or the particular limited application of operational amplifier. We can see the operational amplifier in differential amplifiers, voltage comparators, crossing detectors, so which we will discuss later. Okay, so up to now what we discussed means operational amplifier is a linear integrated circuit where the voltage, the behavior of the relation between voltage and current is linear. V is proportional to I. In an ideal operational amplifier, the voltage gain should be infinite. The input resistance should be infinite. The output resistance R0 should be zero, and bandwidth should be zero. Okay, so these are the ideal parameters. And next we discussed about the behavior of negative feedback. What is the purpose? Why the feedback is negative here? Why the feedback is at negative terminal means the main purpose of the negative feedback, is to improve the operation. So that the gain has to be increased in a particular manner, and the current can be drawn either from the input terminals, either it is inverting or non-inverting. It should be negligible. And second most important parameter of negative feedback is the differential voltage between V1 and V2. Differential voltage represented with respect to V suffix d. V suffix d is nothing but the difference between V1 and V2. That means V suffix d is equal to V1 minus V2. So the differential input voltage between these two inverting and non-inverting input terminals should be essentially 0. That means VD has to be 0. Okay, so this is about operational amplifier. It is a linear integrated circuit. We have two input terminals, negative input terminal and positive input terminal. We have a negative feedback here. We have a negative feedback here. So this is the input resistance and this is the output channel, that is V suffix V naught, not V suffix 0, that is V naught. Okay, the most important point is here the feedback is provided here to the operational amplifier is negative feedback. Okay, because it is negative feedback, it has to be driven into a saturation state so that the circuit will be behaving in a linear manner. So one important announcement: don't switch on your video. If you switch on your video, the bandwidth will be decreased and other participants will have a lag in voice. That's why that is the main point. Don't switch on your video. Please off your video, mute your video, don't switch on your video. So this is about thank you. This is about operational amplifier. Okay, so if we take if we go on to our study, if we go into our study of differential amplifiers, so yesterday we discussed about this particular discussion operation of yesterday we discussed about this thing. We used the operational amplifier and we designed a differential amplifier with the help of the operational amplifier. So yesterday we calculated a nodal analysis to this particular circuit which we designed. So we adopted an operational amplifier. See here, I am pointing with the arrow. So here we used an operational amplifier A. We have two input signals, negative input signal and positive input signal, and we have resistance R1 is connected to negative and resistance R1 is connected to positive. So and this is one path, V2, V3, V0. This is one path, and this is a second path, that is V1. At this point this is B and this is grounded. R2 resistance is grounded here with respect to positive terminal. So here we know that the negative input terminal of the operational amplifier is inverting and positive input terminal of the operational amplifier is non-inverting. So yesterday up to now we discussed about. Today at this point we will define what is common mode voltage signal, V suffix Cm, or common mode voltage signal, V suffix Cm, and next we will discuss about common mode voltage gain, and next we will discuss about differential mode voltage, V suffix D, and we will define differential mode voltage gain. What is the purpose of this both of the things? So common mode voltage gain, or before going to common mode voltage gain, we will discuss about common mode voltage signal. Okay, so for an ideal operational amplifier, we discussed here, for an ideal operational amplifier where the gain is infinite, the input resistance is infinite, and the output impedance or output resistance is 0 and bandwidth is infinite. We discussed that. So if this operational amplifier is behaving like an ideal amplifier, V1 is equal to V2. That means this input voltage of V1 at positive terminal and this input voltage of V2 at negative terminal, V1 is equal to V2. At that condition, if we observe the output voltage equation, V0 is equal to R2 by R1 into V1 minus V2. We calculated this equation from yesterday's nodal analysis. So if we substitute V1 is equal to V2 in this expression, in this particular expression, what will happen? V0 will become 0. So this is an ideal condition. This occurs only when the operational amplifier is ideal. This is a very particular condition. This will happen only when operational amplifier is ideal. So when a practical condition, what will happen at a practical condition means, even though at a practical condition V1 equal to V2, there exists a certain small amount of response. That small amount of response is nothing called as common mode component of input voltage. Yesterday some of the people raised a question, what is meant by this common mode component, how does it happen? Some of the people raised this question. So how does the common mode component happen? You are saying the SAR is saying that operational amplifier is ideal. We designed the operational amplifier with and we designed a differential amplifier with a ideal operational amplifier. If it is ideal, how does the response will happen? How does the common mode component will happen? Some of the people raised this question in yesterday class. So what actually happens means, even though the operational amplifier is ideal, V1 is equal to V2, both input voltages are equal, the output has to be 0, but in some of the practical conditions, what will happen means a small response is observed at output when V1 is equal to V2. At this condition, V1 equal to V2, a small response is observed. That small response is called as common mode component of input voltage. Common mode component of input voltage. Okay, so this common mode component of output voltage. So how does that happen means, here we can see. So if for example, if we see here, so output, so V1 is 100 microvolts and V2 is 50 microvolts at case 1, and V2 is 1000 millivolts and sorry, V1 is 1000 millivolts and V2 is 950 millivolts. In this both the cases, if we see, there is a difference of 50 microvolts. So here the output voltage depends upon the difference of input voltage. That means V0 is depends upon Vd, that is Vd is equal to V1 minus V2. So this will affect this creates a common mode signal and common mode signal. So how can we observe this common mode signal means, the input is also affected by the average of these two input voltages. That means common mode voltage V suffix Cm is equal to V1 plus V2 divided by 2. So this is the common mode voltage. So again I am saying, what is common mode component means, if V1 is equal to V2, both input voltages are equal at practical amplifier condition. If the for a practical amplifier existing, some small response is observed, and thus that particular small response of input voltage is called as common mode component. That common mode component can be expressed like this: V suffix Cm is equal to V1 plus V2 by 2. The input is also affected by the average of input signals, that is called as common mode input signal, common mode signal voltage V suffix Cm. Yes, V suffix Cm. So here if we see the expression of output voltage, V suffix 0 is equal to A1 into V1 plus A2 into V2. So V1 is nothing but input voltage, V2 is nothing but V1 is nothing but input voltage at input 1, and V2 is nothing but input voltage at input 2. What is A1 and A2? Means A1 and A2 is nothing but voltage amplification gains. A1 is nothing but voltage amplification gain observed at amplifier at input 1. A2 is nothing but voltage amplification gain observed at input 2. That's why we represented we explained them in the output voltage signal. V0 is equal to A1 into V1 plus A2 into V2. 2 into V2. So again, if we explain the common mode gain, if we apply two inputs in an equal manner to the differential amplifier, V1 is equal to V2 and the output must be 0. But actually what happens means, the output voltage of practical differential amplifier does not depend on the difference voltage, but also depends on the average common level of two inputs. It depends upon the average of two inputs. So at that condition, when this differential amplifier is taking in the average of two inputs in without taking the difference, this common mode signal happens. That means here at this condition, common mode signal VCM is nothing but V suffix CM is nothing but the average of V1 plus V2 is divided by 2. So one more important point here, it is very important, it will again come in some of your competitive exams. The gain which amplifies the common mode signal will produce the output that is called common mode gain of differential amplifier. So what is this common mode gain? So we will keep on arising a question, what is this common mode gain? Means the gain is created through the common mode signal V suffix CM to produce a particular output in differential amplifier. That means through the average of V1 plus V2, through the average of V1 plus V2, two different averages of V1 plus V2, there creates an additional gain. They create an additional gain at the output of the differential amplifier. That gain is called common mode voltage gain. I'm again repeating, the gain created through the common mode signal will which creates at the output of the differential amplifier, that is called common mode gain. That is called common mode gain, represented with A suffix CM. We will see here what is common mode gain or how does it happen here. So we expressed the expression V0 is equal to A1 into V1 plus A2 into V2, where A1 is nothing but voltage amplification and from the input 1 and input 2. So this is gain 1 of input voltage and this is gain 2 of input voltage. We explained that, and this is our circuit. So this is the common mode voltage gain, common mode voltage V suffix CM is equal to average of two inputs, average of input 1 plus average of input 2, that is V suffix CM, and this is the differential voltage. This is the differential voltage, that is V suffix D is equal to V1 plus V2, V suffix C D is equal to V1 plus V2, whereas V1, if we equate both of them, VCM and VD, we can derive V1 plus V2. V1 is equal to V suffix CM plus half VD, and V2 is nothing but V suffix CM minus half VD. This is the equation symbols which is observed from this particular common mode voltage and differential mode voltage. If we equate VCM and VD, we will get these two equations. If we substitute both of them in the expression 1, this is our expression 1. This is our, if we substitute both values in the expression 1, we can see V0 is equal to A suffix DM into VD plus A suffix CM into V suffix CM, whereas A suffix DM is nothing but differential mode gain, whereas common mode gain A suffix CM is equal to A1 plus A2. The gain with which amplifies the common mode signal to produce the output at differential amplifier is called common mode gain. Then the gain created through V suffix CM at the output of differential amplifier is called common mode gain. Okay, so the differential mode gain here, the differential mode gain is created due to the difference between two input voltages. V suffix D is equal to V1 minus V2. The differential voltage is created as we see here. V suffix D is equal to V1 plus V2. V suffix C is equal to V1. V suffix D is equal to V1 minus V2. V suffix D is equal to V1 minus V2. V suffix D is equal to V1 minus V2. So this differential voltage will create a gain at the differential amplifier. That gain is nothing but differential voltage gain. That gain is nothing but differential voltage gain or difference mode voltage gain. Okay, so with the V suffix D is creating an additional gain at the output amplifier. V suffix D is creating an additional gain at the output amplifier. That gain is called differential mode gain, and that is represented with respect to a suffix dm, that is equal to half into a1 minus a2, and acm is equal to a1 plus a2. So this is our discussion about differential mode gain and common mode gain. So coming into our discussion, differential amplifier discussion, differential amplifier discussion. So an additional point raises, that is a common mode rejection ratio. Common mode rejection ratio. What is meant by common mode rejection ratio means, how can we define common mode rejection ratio means, when two input voltages are same, and those two input voltages are applied to the differential amplifier, it has to be operated at common mode configuration. That operation, that means if v1 is equal to v2, we are saying that both input voltages are same. If that both input voltages are applied to our differential amplifier, the differential amplifier has to be operated at a particular mode. That particular mode of operation is called as common mode configuration. That particular configuration is nothing but common mode configuration. So many disturbances, many noise signals will appear if both input signals are same. We know that if there is a device, if we give two same input signals, there used to be a disturbance, there used to be a noise, appears due to that common input signal. That common signal has to be adopted, and that is to the differential amplifier. Okay, so this ability of differential amplifier to reject the common mode signal is expressed in the ratio of common mode rejection ratio. So differential amplifier will have an ability to reject the common mode signal, that is called common mode rejection ratio. It is a ratio of differential voltage gain with respect to common mode voltage gain. I represented here, see, it is represented with a merit rho is equal to, it's a ratio of differential voltage gain with respect to common mode voltage gain. So what is CMRR? What is common mode rejection ratio means, if two signals are same input voltage is applied to the differential amplifier, it will operate at a common mode configuration. It will operate at a common mode configuration, and that creates a particular common mode signal. That creates a particular common mode signal. That common mode signal has to be rejected by the differential amplifier. The differential amplifier has to reject the common mode rejection ratio. The ability of differential amplifier has to reject the common mode signal, that is called as common mode rejection ratio. That is represented by a ratio of voltage gain, differential voltage gain with respect to common mode voltage gain. Rho is equal to a suffix dm by a suffix cm, that is CMRR. So coming to our discussion, so here now we are entering the differential amplifier actual study. What is an amplifier? We studied amplifier is an electronic device or a circuit which is used to increase the magnitude and of the signal which is applied to the input. Okay, so here the differential amplifier, here we have two symmetrical common emitter sections, that we have two input signals we studied. It will take the difference of two input signals. Differential amplifier will amplify AC input signal as well as DC input signal. This is the major important advantage of differential amplifier. So this is our actual differential amplifier C. So this is our actual differential amplifier. This is a CE configuration transistor. This is a CE configuration transistor. This is it visible, right? Can I zoom it, right? It's visible. So this is our differential amplifier. This differential amplifier is nothing but CE configured different transistor. We used a transistor. We know what is a transistor. Transistor is a 3-terminal device which have base. So see here. So this is the base, this is the emitter, and this is the collector. This is the 3-terminal transistor we got here. 3-terminal transistor we got here. So we used a CE configured transistor, and transistor 1 is named as Q1 and transistor 2 is named as Q2. So the main purpose of differential amplifier is to provide high gain to the difference mode signal and to cancel the common mode signal. So this common mode signal has to be cancelled. This common mode signal has to be taken, and we have to cancel the differential mode gain, and we have to provide a high gain. So this is able to suppress the noise, and so that the common input terminals, the noise will be suppressed and the input signal is taken. The relative sensitivity of an op amp to the different signal is compared to common mode signal, that is called common mode rejection ratio. We studied about common mode rejection ratio, we discussed about common mode rejection ratio. So the differential the differential amplifier has to avoid the common mode signal, it has to take the differential signal. Okay, so that is the main important parameter. That is the main important parameter. So in this important topic, or in this discussion, we will discuss about an amplifier which is having a very high input impedance. This particular differential amplifier will have very high input impedance, and here we discussed about various characteristics of the practical amplifier. So here the major important problem is the major important problem is drift in the operation point due to the temperature dependency. The actual operational amplifier is a temperature dependent thing. So this creates a drift in operating point. This creates a particular drift in the operating point. So that's we will discuss how can we neglect the drift and how can we go on with the drift. If we observe the circuit diagram here, we discussed about the differential amplifier. This is an emitter coupled differential amplifier. So this is having very low drift. We constructed in a particular amplifier which is having very low drift, and this is a symmetrical construction. Two particular transistors are placed in such a manner that this looks like a symmetrical construction, and it is designed to have high input resistance. One of the most important point of differential amplifier is it should have high input resistance. It has two input terminals, which is we can see that is B1 and B2. Two input terminals and B1 and B2. The terminal B2 is inverting input terminal of Q2. Okay, this terminal B2 is nothing but here observe, this is the terminal B2. This terminal B2 is nothing but the inverting input terminal of Q2. Q2 transistor input terminal B2 is nothing but inverting input terminal, and providing a phase shift of 180 degrees for the output taken at the collector Q2. Okay, collector Q2. So this is the output terminal of transistor 2. This is V suffix O2. Okay, this is V suffix O2. So this from this input and output is having a particular phase shift of 180 degrees. Okay, obviously B1 is nothing but inverting input terminal. Okay, obviously B1 is nothing but inverting input terminal. Okay, so this is the emitter section, and this is the base section, and this is the output terminals V suffix 0, V suffix 01, and this is output terminal V suffix 02. Okay, so and this is the collector resistance, and this is the collector resistance. Current flowing through the collector is I suffix C1, and collector flowing to the collector 2 is I suffix C2, and current flowing through the emitter is I suffix C1, and current flowing through the emitter is I suffix E2. So this is a common emitter configuration. Here we have a common resistance for the emitter, that is R suffix E. The current flowing is I suffix Q. Okay, right? Is it clear? So here we have only few more minutes left. We are only 1 minute left here. So if you have any queries, you can unmute yourself and you can ask the question. Anyone? Is today's class clear? Anyone?
Sir, Vamsi sir.
Sir.
Sir, మీ వాయిస్ కొంచెం లాగ్ అవుతుంది సార్. మరి ప్రాబ్లం మా దాంట్లో ఉందో మీ సిగ్నల్ లో ఉందో కానీ వాయిస్ లాగ్ అవుతుంది కొంచెం.
చూస్తాను ఒకసారి. ఇయర్ ఫోన్స్ ప్రాబ్లం
స్లోగా లాగ్ అయ్యి వస్తుంది మధ్య మధ్యలో.
కంటిన్యూస్ గా వస్తుందా మధ్య మధ్యలో వస్తుందా?
స్టూడెంట్స్ కి ఎలా ఉందో
అంటే మిడిల్ లో అప్పుడప్పుడు లాగ్ అవుతూ వస్తుంది సార్, స్ట్రక్ అవుతూ వస్తుంది వాయిస్.
చూస్తాను ఒకసారి, నెట్వర్క్ ప్రాబ్లమ్, ఒకసారి సెట్టింగ్స్ చూస్తాను.
ఓకే సార్.
వాయిస్ కొద్దిగా బ్రేక్ అవుతుంది సార్.
బ్రేక్ కంటిన్యూస్ గా బ్రేక్ అవుతుందా?
అక్కడక్కడ సార్, 1 to 5 minutes కోసారి అలా, అంతగా లేదు సార్.
ఓకే రైట్. ఓకే, ఈజీ కూడా